Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Opinion Stated, where I give unfiltered, opinionated sports takes. Let's go. Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. This particular episode, I want to get into a burning question in my soul right now, which is, can USA basketball uphold the gold standard? For those who don't know the history of the United States and how our dominance is played out on the Olympic level in basketball, I just kind of want to give you an update. There was a period between 1936 and 1968 where the U.S. literally went undefeated in Olympic play, winning 7 straight gold medals. Let's dig into it. According to Wikipedia, the United States joined FIBA at the end of 1934 under the supervision of the Amateur Athletic Union. The U.S. men were dominant from the first Olympic tournament to hold basketball held in Berlin in 1936, going 5-0 to win the gold, and joined by continental neighbors Canada and Mexico on the medal platform. Through the next 6 tournaments, the United States went undefeated, collecting gold while not losing a single contest in the games held in London, Helsinki, Melbourne, Rome, Tokyo, and Mexico City. Participation in these tournaments was limited to amateurs, but the U.S. teams during this period featured players who would later go on to become superstars in professional basketball, including all-time greats Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, and Jerry Lucas. The latter 3 competed on the 1960 Rome team, often credited as the best U.S. roster until the formation of the 92 Dream Team. Now, before I talk about the Dream Team, I want to kind of back up just a little bit and highlight a few things that was shared in this particular article of information shared. First, noteworthy, participation in these tournaments was limited to amateurs. So, for those who don't know, prior to 1992, participation in the Olympics, the Olympic teams were comprised of college students, right, or of collegiate players. And so no professional athletes competed on any of these teams, only those who would later go on from the collegiate levels to becoming legendary in the United States of America, but after joining the pro leagues. During that period, it was our collegiate players competing against the adult professional players from these other countries. And we held our own through the first 7 Olympics. We took home gold. Not bad. In 1972, however, our team would lose at the hands of the Soviet Union, not necessarily because we were collegiate athletes, but because we were robbed. It is the greatest travesty in the history of Olympic and competitive sports. If you do not know the history of that 72 Olympics, you should go back and look at it. The end of that game was just utterly and completely different with 2 stoppages, the last 3 seconds replayed 3 times. It was crazy. It's really weird. But understandably, with those who would later go on to suggest that perhaps the referees were paid off by, the Soviet Union or the Kremlin or someone, it stands to reason that, after witnessing it for yourself, you'll be like, wait a minute, man, something is not right here. And something definitely wasn't right. And what wasn't right is that the U.S. did not win gold rightfully, which they should have. So should have been our 8th gold medal as a country, but it was not. So we took silver that year, and coming back in the 76 Olympics on a team coached by the great legendary Dean Smith, who was coach at North Carolina. That team took gold again, not losing a single game in contest. Again, very impressive throughout. So they just steamrolled their way through. The 1980s Olympics saw our team, the U.S. team, and about 66 other countries withdraw from the Olympics because of a bombing or invasion by the Soviet Union into Afghanistan. So there was no competitive or competition taking place from our side at that time in 1980. But in 84, we returned back to the Olympic Games. And what you saw from a Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing-led Olympic team, comprised still of collegiates, was the acquisition of the gold medal. Team won gold in '84. In 1988, collegiate team led by Danny Manning would lose in that tournament, so would not actually win gold, but they brought home the bronze medal. And at that point, some things need to change here. And so, from there, we get this introduction of the Dream Team, who competed in the 1992 Olympics. But how do we get here? Did the U.S. just get fed up with, what was going on? And was just like, man, let me bump these college kids. We're going to send some adults. Not quite. The U.S. team is heavily, or rather the 92 Dream Team, heavily heralded as the greatest team of all time. You know what I mean? The greatest Olympic team ever. Heralded as, just like one of the best teams that people have ever seen. Like, just lace them up and get it done. And that's not just me, not just because I'm living in this nostalgia of the old days and the golden era. And kid, get off my lawn. You kids have no idea what you're doing with it. No, it's not that. It's just that, man, what we saw was real. And you can't convince us without CGI and all the extras that wasn't real. It was literally grown men taking it to other grown men, letting them know that they could not compete. Shout out to the 92 Olympic Dream Team, man. Michael Jordan and those guys were amazing. But how did they get there? According to Uphold.com, website for the Basketball Hall of Fame, in April of 1989, FIBA, the international governing body of basketball, passed a landmark agreement that called for the inclusion of America's professional basketball players in the Olympic Games. While hardly earth-shattering news at the time of the announcement, FIBA's mandate paved the way for USA Basketball to assemble the Dream Team, the greatest collection of basketball talent on the planet. When the Dream Team arrived in Barcelona, the entire world watched as the Americans crushed the opposition. One by one, foreign states crumbled under the weight of a lineup that included names like Michael, Magic, Bird, and Charles. Games were blowouts early as opponents seemed content just to share the court with basketball's royal family. The Dream Team cruised to the gold medal, winning games by an average margin of almost 44 points. Reaching the century mark in every single game as well. Chuck Daly never even called a timeout. Once past the adulation, the international world responded with a commitment to elevate its game to another level, and a new era was born. It's not just me saying it, man. That's the Hoop Hall of Fame. In fact, according to, now legend in history, the 92 Dream Team is one of only two teams to ever be inducted in the Hall of Fame. They were actually enshrined in addition to, or rather alongside the 1960 U.S. Olympic men's team into the Hall of Fame. So this team, man, the way that they steamrolled, the competition, just it speaks for itself. In fact, you have media outlets, even to up to present day, like Bleacher Report saying that the 92 Dream Team is the greatest team ever. The Associated Press News says that the Dream Team turned the 92 Olympics from a contest into a coronation. And like literally, I mean, they showed up and put the world on notice that we are the true kings of basketball. You guys are not even close second, literally. That's the kind of competition we saw, or the kind of play that we saw in competition in the 92 Olympics. So let me kind of run down what has taken place in basketball since the 92 Olympics, according to this graphic here. Olympic results since 1992. In 92, that Dream Team that we just mentioned in Barcelona, Spain, Team USA won gold, defeating opponents on average by 43.8 points per game. It's rounded on up to 44, man. They were sliding, folks. Moving furniture around, mollywopping, body bagging, just sandbagging, folks, man, just beating the brakes off the world. Literally, impressively stomping folks out. That has been the precedent set, not just by the Dream Team, but also in accordance with the other 9 gold medals won prior to 1992, yo. Like, literally. In 1996 in Atlanta, Georgia, Team USA would win gold once again, defeating Yugoslavia 95-96. In 2000, Sydney, Australia's Olympics, we saw Team USA win gold once again, defeating France 85-75, which was in fact the smallest margin of victory in a gold medal game, by the U.S. team. We got problems on the horizon, seem to be thought of, right? In 2004, in Athens, Greece, Team USA would then lose in competition, finishing with just a bronze medal, defeating Lithuania 104-96. Lucy, what happened? And I think that there was an indication between 2000 and 2004 that, man, the world was catching up. The world is catching up. The world's getting better. What happens is when you play against better competition, man, you get better. It's real, right? And as indicative of that, you can take a look at, what happened sort of in the space of the 92 Olympics. God rest his soul, David Stern, who was commissioner of the NBA, sought to make the NBA a global game. And he wanted to globalize the game of basketball the way that it was being represented in the NBA. And so thus, in such since his passing, we've seen a lot of incredible international players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, and so many others who have now, entered this particular game that we love in the United States, coming from where they were born and where they learned to play, and actually doing a really, really good job of competing, and in many cases and in many ways dominating in a game that belongs to us. It has always belonged to us, but the world is catching up. Staying here with this graphic. In 2008, the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, Team USA won gold, defeating Spain 118-107 in the final. In 2012, in London, Team USA will go on to win gold, once again defeating Spain 107-100 in the final. And then last but not least, the 2016 Olympics in Rio saw Team USA once again win gold, defeating Serbia 96-99. And then in the 22 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, Team USA won gold medal, defeating France 87-82 in the final. Why does it bother me so much that the U.S., potentially could be slipping a bit and the rest of the world could be catching up? I mean, it's because we've been dominant for so long, and then naturally when you're up, as they say, what goes up must come down. It's Newton's law. I don't necessarily want to see our team, our country in the game of basketball that we have dominated, that we established, that we created, take a fall. But it doesn't really matter what I see. It only matters what the players actually do when they get on court. But back to some historical facts, and to give us historical context, USA basketball has won 25 gold medals at the Olympics, at the Olympic Games, 16 in the men's tournament, 9 in the women's tournament. The United States has 30 medals total, 2 silver and 3 bronze medals in addition to the gold. The United States' 25 gold medals are the most of any nation in the history of Olympic basketball. The U.S. leads the gold medal count for both men with 16 and women with 9. So again, I personally would love to see us continue this dominance, but I know that it has to be something that we take seriously, as a collective. When I say we, I mean just we as a country, right? I'm not getting out there lacing my shoes up at this age, competing. Would love to, but I'm not sure how much value I would actually have to offer. And so for those that we, do deem our absolute best, we expect the best of them. But now whether we get the best is something altogether different. Just yesterday, our men's national team faced off in competition against South Sudan in the U.S. basketball showcase. And man, after being down by 14 at the half, it was nice to see them fight back to win, the game. But man, a 101-100 squeaking out of a victory is not exactly the standard that has been set, that gold standard that has been set. It hasn't worked that way in exhibition competition, even for us to be that close to losing games. And maybe this is not a cause for alarm. Maybe maybe I'm just overreacting. Maybe everybody's been overreacting. Maybe even those who have deemed that this present U.S. basketball team that consists of Jason Tatum, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, to name a few, is better than the '92 Dream Team. Maybe all of us are overreacting a bit. Maybe all of us need to calm down. Well, I think they need to calm down more than I need to calm down. That '92 team, historically, as I just stated, has proven themselves as the most dominant team to ever take the court. This team hasn't proven themselves just yet. What they do in competition still remains to be seen in terms of end result. But I want to talk about, not just my panic, but also that in the media. As you can see, CNN was like, oh my God, Team USA survived scare in Olympic warm-up, scraping past South Sudan 101-100. NBA.com said USA escaped South Sudan for thrilling win in London. LeBron James's layup, according to ESPN, helps US dodge upset from South Sudan. And NBA.com once again says LeBron James bails out Team USA with closeout performance against South Sudan. So again, I think that the panic is warranted. None more eye-opening, I feel like. And there are countless news media outlets that reported on this, but none more eye-opening than I feel like is this one from The Athletic that says Team USA's narrow win over South Sudan shows Olympic favorites can't coast to gold. For the Dream Team to be demolished in this competition at a margin of victory of 43.8 points a game, they literally were just coasting. It just seemed like they were coasting through. Not that they weren't playing hard. Of course, they were playing hard on offense and defense, but it was easy for, it was easy for them. It was easy. They made it look easy. They made it look real easy. And thus it was easy. But this team can't necessarily afford to coast to gold. Us made up of a lot of very talented individuals. They cannot coast. And I feel like Kobe Bryant, warned us about this a couple years ago as he was kind of referencing, what was happening on the AAU circuit, and then what was just happening in general to the game or with the game. And there's not that same level of competitive spark. The NBA doesn't seem to be that same proving ground, to help to cultivate the absolute best and to pull the absolute best out of our most talented athletes anymore. It just really doesn't seem that way. And again, indicative by, those who are coming in from overseas. Last four out of the last 5 MVPs have been awarded to individuals who were not born on the soil, were not American citizens. I think that the ballet that has been the NBA for years has just been a very beautiful display of sports entertainment. But man, we need to get back to that standard of excellence, that standard of pride on both offense and defense, that standard of winning, that standard of being the absolute best. And unfortunately, I just don't see it. I haven't seen it displayed in Olympic play in a number of years. And hopefully we can get back to that. That was the basis of this particular video. Again, my name is Cosmic. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Opinion Stated. If you enjoy the content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Press that notification bell to know when my next videos are uploaded. Also, go back through the other videos posted on my channel. A lot of insightful information in those as well. Like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, blessings.